What's going on, Outlaws fans? It's Coach Dags back on the mic, reporting live from Station Park in Sparta, New Jersey. This field is very homey to me, as this field brought me some of the best memories I've had playing the game of baseball. My core memory was, in fact, hitting a grand slam in the bottom of the 6th inning, breaking up a no-hitter, which we'll cut to right there. Yeah! Woo! Pretty awesome stuff. But the reason why I bring that up is because I want to make this final video for you guys feel like home. This video really brought together everything that we were working on the entire season, and we do play at Bosco a lot. It's one of those fields that we can rely on, and it was no different from that weekend we played a couple weeks ago, going a record of 4-0 and locking up the #1 seed going into the bracket play. For the first couple games, in order to seed ourselves for the bracket, we had to play 2 opponents. The first one being the New Jersey DBacks, the second one being the CPBA. These 2 teams gave us a run for our money in order to get that all-important first seed in order to lock up the first round bye. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and move straight on into Game 1. Going into Game 1 here, we're going up against the New Jersey DBacks. This team is based out of Bosco, so this team is full of some really talented youth baseball kids that are eager to compete against our Outlaws program. This team that we faced before, we've gone up against them plenty of times, whether it was from past years or early in the season, and they've always gave us some good battles between the 2 programs. This is shaping up to be a very fun contest between the 2 programs, and it was in fact a very fun game to watch. For the Outlaws, we had Evan Fisher going for us for the first game. This kid has proven throughout the entire season that he's a competent and well-rounded pitcher. He's delivered for us time and time again. And that's why it was extremely important for him to be settled in right out of the gate. Going straight into the 2nd inning, we have Evan Fisher in a tight pinch with bases loaded and 2 out. He needs to get a ground ball here in order to get out of the inning, or some sort of out that would ease the pain. And that's exactly what he does, giving a ground ball up middle. Ethan steps on the bag to get out of a very important jam right there. We move into the bottom half of the 2nd inning as Matthew Vanderbush is up in a very important spot to get the offense started, and he gets a nice line drive to left field to get the inning started with a nice little double, a little stand-up double for Matt Vanderbush, a nice little piece of hitting for him, and that gets the Outlaws started here in the 2nd inning. Vanderbush advances to 3rd with big money up, still with 1 out in the 2nd inning, and he sits on a 2-0 count expecting a fastball here, trying to drive something to the outfield in order for Vanderbush to score. And he sits on it and drives a beautiful piece to left center field. The Outlaws are up 1-0 to start the game, and the offense would continue to score runs, mounting a big early lead. Chase Broderson follows up with a big money single, an RBI single in fact, with a single of his own. A nice little poke to the left side of the field, and it's 1st and 2nd for the Outlaws here in the bottom of the 2nd. Dylan Kelly with the runners now at 2nd and 3rd does a little sacrifice play here with a 1-1 count. He decides to lay a bunt down the first base line. Big money running down the 3rd baseline scores, and Dylan Kelly gets the sac bunt to get the Outlaws a 2-0 lead here in the 2nd. Portante now with a runner on 2nd base. Still a 2-0 game, protecting with 2 strikes. Sits on it and drives it to the left side of the field. He has to beat out a single here to keep the inning alive, and that's exactly what he does, allowing Chase Broderson to score, giving the Outlaws a nice 3-0 lead here in the 2nd inning. Moving into the 4th inning after the Outlaws give up 2 runs in the 3rd inning, Chase Broderson with 2nd and 3rd and nobody out does another sacrifice play himself, and he decides to lay a bunt down in order to get the runner into score right here as he beats the throw in. Vanderbush is safe. The Outlaws are now 4-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dylan Kelly is infamous for giving the Outlaws the sacrifice play and doing the team job as he lays another bunt down to allow Big Money to score the 5th run of the game for the Outlaws. And Portante again with a 2-strike count with another RBI chance for him, needs to protect. And he shoots a ball up the middle. The shortstop gets the ball and fires home, but it's too late, and another run scores for the Outlaws. It is now 6-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And my man Fisher doing his absolute best to keep the Outlaws at bay with a 4-run lead. Another bases loaded for him, but he gets the all-important out right here as it's a fly ball, and that would get the inning over with. An excellent job for Evan Fisher, who goes 5 strong, only giving up 2 against the New Jersey DBacks. Great job, Evan Fisher. Chase Broderson comes in relief here in the 6th inning, and with bases loaded, gets a big strikeout here with bases loaded to get the second out of the inning. And wrapping up the game, Chase Broderson with bases loaded needs to get the final out here, and he gets a fly ball that goes to the outfield here, and this ball would in fact be caught. The Outlaws start the day 1-0, winning the first game 6-3 against the New Jersey DBacks. The Owls are looking towards the second game, trying to get a 2-0 record and trying to minimize the amount of runs they've given up throughout this game so that way nobody jumps them in the rankings. And we're going to go ahead and jump to Game 2 against CPBA. Going into Game 2, the Outlaws have a record of 1-0. They're going up against an opponent called the CPBA. Another second inning action for the Outlaws. As a matter of fact, another 3-inning action for the Outlaws. Chase Broderson comes through with a huge way to start the game. Chase Broderson hits an inside-the-park home run here as he's sprinting around the bases. Not only doing that, but he's also on a cut during that weekend, and he's sprinting around trying to burn those calories, and he comes all the way home. I see exactly what you're doing there, Chase. Excellent job. Jack Tucker now still in the second inning here with a runner on first base. He shoots the ball out to the outfield, and that's going to allow our runner to come all the way home from first base here as we get a nice little 4-0 lead to start out the second inning of play. D. Kelly scores right there. It is 4-0 Outlaws in the second inning. Sometimes to score some runs, you got to hustle them out. And on this pass ball right here, Grady Myron reads the ball well as the catcher cannot find it, and he scores to make it a 5-0 game for the Outlaws. Great read, Grady. Dylan now in the 5th inning with a runner on first and third. Puts the ball in play, and he's trying to hustle it out so the inning can stay alive again, and that's exactly what he does. An RBI hustle single allows big money to score right there, giving the Outlaws a 6-0 lead in the 5th inning. Looking at a mercy rule situation here, Portante comes through, giving us the important 2 runs to make it the 8-run mercy rule score. As the Outlaws make it 8-0 here in the 5th inning, Portante with a big RBI knock. And while this is going on, I must say this was a very interesting side of the day. Ethan Portante closes out the game on the mound with a no-hitter. Even though he walked 5 guys, he still managed to come through with a nice little 5-inning shutout and giving the Outlaws the all-important second win of the day, giving them that important first seed. The Outlaws close out the first day of games going 2-0, giving up only 3 runs and scoring 14. That run differential was very important. They gave up only those 3 runs, allowing them to get that first place seed for the second day of games, which we will go right into that right now. Here we are now in day 2. The Outlaws are once again facing the New Jersey DBacks, but going up against a pitcher who threw a no-hitter against them in the spring of this season. This pitcher was a left-hander who had nasty stuff on the mound and gave the Outlaws fits back in the early part of the season. How will they adjust coming off of that game? Well, let's look no further than this game right here. The Outlaws have already some pressure. Chase Broderson puts the ball in play with a runner on third base and beats out a single. And this first run of the game set the entire tone that the Outlaws learned from their first time around with this pitcher. Trevor hops up in the 3rd inning here, gets the Outlaws started with a nice little poke out to left center field, and he hustles it out for a nice little double to start the inning with a runner on second base. Here comes Antonio Dominguez up here in the 3rd inning. Following the Trevor Hop double, we pinch run for him with Jack Tucker. Antonio squares up and lays it down, and he hustles it all the way out, and a wild throw from the catcher allows Jack Tucker to come around and score in place of Trevor Hop, giving the Outlaws a 2-0 lead. Already putting pressure on the D-backs and letting them know that we're here. And while all the runs are coming across and scoring, we must give a big shout out to Luca Rostello, who gets a big strikeout here to keep the game at 2-2 going into the bottom half of the 6th inning. Following a scoreless frame in the 6th inning, Luca Rostello finishes off his day of pitching with a nice little fly out to left field, and he goes 7 strong, completely dominating the control of the game and giving the Outlaws an excellent effort on the mound. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Outlaws need a nice little rally, and Grady Myron starts it out with a poke out to right center field here, and he gets on second base to start the inning off with a nice little runner in scoring position. With a runner on second base, Luca Rostello knows he needs to just do a job here, and that's exactly what he does. Puts the ball in play, moves Grady over to third base, and now the winning run is 90 feet away. And with that sacrifice play that Luca did, the opposing team elects to not only intentionally walk Shohei Ohtani, a.k.a. Big Fish, they go ahead and intentionally walk Matthew Vanderbush, giving the Outlaws bases loaded with 1 out. for the biggest moneymaker you can possibly find on the planet, Connor Hale. Connor Hale with the pressure mounting. 1-2 count. Sends the ball to center field where the original pitcher was playing, and that's just enough to get the runner to come all the way home, and the Outlaws walk it off in the first game of the playoffs, beating the D-backs 3-2, and they move on to the championship game. The Outlaws were a fantastic team in that third game, as they were not only able to squander the opposing team's bats, but they were able to take advantage of the pitcher coming off the mound in that last inning. They did just enough to get past this team and get ready for this championship game against the Muggeo Cardinals. And here it is, the championship game. The Muggeo Cardinals and the Hit and Run Outlaws. These two teams squared up a couple weeks prior, where the Muggeo Cardinals won the game 10-9 in another championship battle. These two teams were neck and neck, and it was going to shape up to be another fantastic game of baseball, which is exactly what it turned out to be. The Outlaws are down 4-0 already, but Jack Tucker says otherwise. On a 3-1 count here, he does in fact draw a walk, giving the Outlaws the first run of the game for them, and it allows them to settle in and put more on as the game continues. Using the wood bat, Antonio Dominguez, still in the third inning, gets a sac fly. He pokes the ball nice and clean, allowing the runner to tag up and score to make this game 4-2. And just like that, the Outlaws have cut the lead down to 2. Moving into the fourth inning, we have Chase Broderson up with 2 runners in scoring position with a 2-2 count and 2 outs. The pitch is thrown, and he hits it through the 5-6 hole to get the run to score from third base, and the Outlaws are only down by 1, with the score being 4-3 Muggeo, and the Outlaws are threatening to take the lead off of Muggeo. In the 5th inning, we had our big RBI guy come through once again. Tucker hits the ball up the middle, and the guy on second comes all the way around to score, tying the game up at 4 here in the 5th inning. Ethan Portante slides in nicely, and there's the 4th run for the Outlaws. The Outlaws did, however, give up 1 following that, but Evan Fisher, we call him Shohei for a reason, comes through with another knock right here down the left field line. He smokes that baseball, and the runner from second comes in to score, and there's now second and third, a tie game at 5. Grady Myron scores. The Outlaws have knotted up at 5. Chase Broderson, the big man this weekend. Can he come through for the Outlaws? He pops the ball up in between short and left. It gets down. The Outlaws are going to get the lead. 6-5. Ristello scores, and the Outlaws have taken the lead. The Outlaws storming back, down 4-0. Can they get important insurance now going into the 7th? Portante up. And Portante wears it. It's 7-5 Outlaws. They are now 3 outs away from winning this championship. The final frame of the season. Connor Hale, 6 strong as of this point. Picks up the second strike right here in this first at-bat in the 7th. And he decides, wait a minute, what in the world? What in the world am I looking at? That's Nestor Cortez pitching. Oh my goodness. He gets the batter to pop it up to right field, and he gets the first out of the inning right here. They only need 2 now to win the game. Connor Hale, 0-2 count. Gets him looking on the outside corner. The Outlaws are 1 out away from winning this championship. Muggeo does get first and second after 2 hits. But Connor Hale pitches the ball down the middle. It's hit to the left side. Grady steps on it. The ball game is over. The Outlaws have come all the way back to win the championship in the final game of their season. What a battle to the end. The Outlaws go on to be 4-0 and win the weekend tournament at Bosco. What a fantastic job from all these kids throughout the entire season, going all the way to the very end and competing right to the finish line. These kids were a fantastic pleasure to coach, and I can't wait to go back with them at the end of this season going into next year. I'm really excited to be back with you guys sometime soon, and as sad as it is to go, I've been extremely proud of the way you guys performed this season. Thank you guys for another fantastic and successful year, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.